Hello, my friends. If you are looking to expand the limits of your potential for a better you and a better world, welcome. Do you believe DNA is destiny? You do, don't you? What if I were to tell you this isn't true? You don't believe me? Okay, let's look at monozygotic twins or identical twins. These are two humans with the same exact DNA. Now, do you know identical twins? Maybe you've met identical twins, or maybe you are an identical twin. There are physical differences, even just slight physical differences. There are differences between the twins, aren't there? How is that possible? Two forms of the exact same DNA, the exact same sequence, and yet these are two people who are expressing that DNA just slightly differently. And then when we look into health, because there have been a lot of medical studies, not all of them have been exactly kosher, but we do know quite a bit. So identical twins, sometimes you'll have one twin that gets high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, depression, but the other twin does not. Again, this is the same exact DNA, so why is the DNA expressing itself differently in two different people? Okay, let's think about people who have been diagnosed with terminal cancer and beaten it without chemotherapy. And they've done this by either watching funny movies, changing the way they eat, or changing the way they think. I know someone who has done this, and we've heard about many people who have done this via the news. So many people hear about these stories and think, wow, that person's just lucky, or what a miracle. But actually, these people have figured out a secret of the universe that should be so obvious to all of us now. We live in an interactive reality. What do I mean? Well, this goes back to quantum mechanics. At the quantum level, nothing behaves according to classical physics. So we have subatomic particles that can be in two or more places at once. Nothing is solid. Instead, everything is a vibratory field. Everything is a vibratory field. So our DNA actually behaves like a waveform rather than a particle, and it has a vibratory field of its own. Let's think about a guitar shop. When you play a note on one guitar, the rest of the guitars hum at the same note, even though they're not being played. This is called resonant frequency. At the waveform level, a frequency or a note from one wave can catalyze a resonant response from waves nearby. In this way, our DNA is interacting with absolutely everything. This is why we have to be so careful with what we surround ourselves with. All the food that we put in our bodies have a frequency. All the products we use in the shower, we put on our skin have a frequency. The cities that we live in have a frequency, as do the forests or the rivers or the oceans that we escape to. Those have very beneficial frequencies. The people that we surround ourselves have their own frequencies, and the thoughts that we have in our heads have frequencies. In this way, the expression of our DNA is a conglomeration of the effect of all of these interactions. So when we understand this, we have so much power over our experience of this life. I'm going to go into this maybe a little bit more in another video, but I was able to change the expression of my DNA in getting healthier. I was able to heal myself from IBS, from frequent eye ulcers, which are really painful, very frequent ovarian cysts that would rupture and landed me in the hospital a few times, frequent UTIs that developed into a chronic kidney infection and a lump in my breast. I did this starting 3 years ago, and I did it once I understood that absolutely everything is interacting with my DNA. So the first thing that I did was change what I ate. I started putting in only very high frequency vegan foods into my body. And I also changed the music I was listening to and started working on my thoughts and becoming more positive and optimistic. And within 6 months, all these major issues had gone away. Plus, my eyesight had improved. I'm still working on healing my thyroid, and I'm staying on top of that by taking frequent blood tests, but I'm not taking any exogenous medication, and my thyroid has significantly improved. I'm almost healthy with that too, and it's been a little over 3 years, sorry. But I mean, this is really true and powerful stuff, and I've lived it, I've experienced it. A healthy human being resonates at a frequency between 62 and 72 hertz. Below this, our immune systems are severely compromised. And yes, every virus and bacteria has its own frequency, because remember, everything at the quantum level vibrates. Every disease has its own frequency. Check out the work by Bruce Thanios, because he's done a lot of research into this, and his research has also yielded some really interesting results in terms of genius. People who function at the level of genius, their brains operate at the level of between 80 and 82 hertz. So if you want to become smarter, more creative, more intuitive, or more spiritual, all you have to do is increase your frequency. Remember, everything, every color, every sound, every scent, every taste, every texture has its own frequency. Pay attention to what makes you feel good, and also pay attention to what makes you feel not so good. Some of these things that make us feel not so good are unavoidable. For example, Wi-Fi nowadays. We can't really avoid Wi-Fi. I know some people are more sensitive to Wi-Fi than others, but either way, it's very hard to avoid. And there might be some other things that you come across that you can't really avoid but make you feel not so good. And you can mitigate the influence of these frequencies. And you can do that by surrounding yourself with more very high frequency things. So, for example, eating fresh foods and herbs, that goes a long way. Using essential oils. For example, rose oil is at 320 hertz. That's very high for something naturally occurring. And music. I really like to listen to 528 radio. It has music, popular music from today and even rock from the 70s, and it converts this music to a higher frequency. So you can listen to the songs you love and bathe your cells, your DNA in higher frequencies. So I hope this helps. This should be very empowering, because you have so much influence over your world, over your body, over everything. So I hope you feel empowered, and I hope you have a powerful and beautiful day. And remember that you need to be whole in order to really thrive. Bye.